me that when I was a boy. And even till today, when I find myself to be in the darkest place in my life, his word constantly resonates with me. Because his word serves as a reminder to me that I have the ability to create value and I can decide to be a blessing to others. When I was 10, one of my teachers told me that I would never make it in life. And it was a defining moment for me. Because growing up in school, I always thought that I was stupid. And it stripped away my confidence to contribute in class and in wherever that I go. And I constantly questioned myself, my ability to contribute and my ability to add value. To the extent that I even questioned my mere existence in the society. I asked myself, what is my place in the society? But then I decided that one day, enough is enough. And as I woke up from the trauma that I faced in school, I thought to myself, is this what education is all about? And the word of my father has shaped my decision thought process. That in anything that I do, in any skill acquisition, in any knowledge that I acquire, I will constantly think about how I can use the knowledge that I have to add value into other people's life. Because I wish to be a blessing to others. And this has inspired my work with youths here in Malaysia. In my work, I have the opportunity to work with underprivileged youths in Kuala Lumpur who were in the same situation that I was in. In the after-school program that I was running with my team, I discovered that many of the young people that I was working with, many of their other gifts, for example, like public speaking, taekwondo, and other non-academic stuffs, are very often in time being dismissed simply because of the over-prioritization on academic achievements. And what I found is that this put many of those youths in a situation where they couldn't maximize entirely the education experience that they could have acquired in school. And that got me thinking, what is the value of going through all this, and at the end of the day, we are not maximizing it? Because our mental model towards value has been strongly associated to financial outcome. Because it is the most convenient and easy quantifiable outcome that we can see. And it has inadvertently sidelined some of the opportunities that we could have captured in the education experience or in any pursuit for that matter. And simply because of this traditional notion, it has limited our potential to achieve the most that we could have achieved. And the conventional wisdom says that in value creation for businesses is to create value and to maximize the value of shareholders and also to maximize the value for the customers as well. And taking on further into my journey, as I explore the intellectual space of business management, I'm really curious to see the dynamic and the management of social enterprises. An emerging entrepreneurial approach, at least in the case of Southeast Asia, that aims to solve some of the most pressing social issues that we are facing. And social enterprises aim to fulfill these two bottom lines. They aim to fulfill the financial bottom line and also the social bottom line. But then, here comes the trouble. Because traditionally, business has been wired to focus on money, focus on maximizing profit for shareholders. But then what businesses miss out are the intrinsic value that the solution that was being created. And that traditional notion has encapsulated what business could have been. And the first thing that I ask is, what is value? The dictionary definition could say that value is the worth of something, where something or someone finds utility and what someone is willing to pay for. But I believe that value is benefit that can be created, that someone or something can find utility and happiness by capturing the full value. For instance, little things, for instance, like when an old person crosses the street, he or she might find that a help from the person next to him or her may be valuable. Or when a student is having a conversation with a mentor to be valuable as well. In the value creation process, there are two key agents. You have the value creator and you have the value recipient. And the value creator and value recipient could be individuals like you and I, could be a group of people, it could be a company as well. But then businesses have been evident in the discourse of the value creation process. Let's start by questioning the mere existence of business. Businesses exist today is to maximize profit, create profit through the products or services that is being offered. But and entrepreneurs, the traditional model say that entrepreneurs are there to identify a problem, fulfill the market need, provide a solution, and to do so profitably. And there is nothing wrong about that notion. But then there is more. The negligence of and the limitation to what we define what value is has made us ignorant about what are the other repercussions that the businesses could bring about. Let's take a paradigm shift. If from the very get-go, an entrepreneur were to look beyond profit, but to look into what are the solutions and what are some of the value propositions that could be brought about within the identified problem, or sometimes even social problem, businesses have the potential to be the driving force in social change. For instance, the creation of new jobs and work for marginalized community, the investment in sustainable supply chain, and the interest in human capital development. This in turn could help businesses to conduct their practices and to deliver their products and services in a more sustainable way. And let's look at the other side of the equation. How can businesses ensure that the value recipient is capturing the value that is being created? It can be done through two things. Firstly, is to have a transparent reporting process. Secondly, is to have other measurement indicator apart from financial indicator. The reason why many businesses use financial indicators to measure performance, because it is the most convenient way. And things that are, and it's the most tangible value that a business creates. And other intangibles, for example, like relationship, social impact, environmental impact, or culture, behavioral change, are often deemed as intangibles or difficult to measure. And what do people do about them? They simply ignore them. But then what if we look into the other indicators apart from financial indicators? Because by looking into the other indicators, undeniably, it is going to require more time resources and even more financial resources. But then what is worth looking at is having those information to better inform the business management about the effectiveness and the value that is being delivered to the value recipients through the products and services. For example, in my previous experiences working with young people, we kept track of the students' individual performances from before the program and after the program. And in that framework, it informed me and my team about the effectiveness of the classroom teaching and learning. And I was working with an edutech company and 2 schools in this project. But when I was reflecting on the research, what I found was the edutech company was indeed creating value by providing an alternative and fun teaching and learning tool. But then, the video game did not significantly contribute to the students' learning process. What was missing in this
equation was the lack of engagement between the EduTech company and the primary users, the teachers and also the students. What the value creator or the game company could have done is to include and have constant touch points with the value recipients, the teachers and also the students. By having that alignment of expectation and going through that collaborative process, it creates value not only for the value recipient, but also for the value creator on the information and also on the information on their clients. And this is some of the problems that many businesses today are struggling, simply because of the obsession of financial indicator. And by having all this collaborative process, it could push us beyond the limit of what businesses can do. That is not only solely making profit, but the other intrinsic value as well, like the changes in culture, the changes in behavioral, in purchasing behavior, and the list goes on. Friends, I am 23 years old, and when I was in my journey of building my social enterprise, the journey wasn't the easiest, because I was constantly questioning myself. Am I able to create value? The trauma from my school still scars me even till today. But then, the word of my father constantly rings in my head, that I can be a blessing to others. Friends, be it if you are an individual, in a community, in an organization, or leading an organization, we all can create value that transcends financial number. We can all create value through the relationship that you have built, through a conversation that you have, or a word of encouragement that you can give to your co-workers or to your colleague. Or it could be a simple thank you. And these are the value that money cannot buy. And do not ever let anybody, even your close ones, your loved ones, tell you what you can do and what you cannot do. Because we all can decide, and we all have the ability to create value regardless of our capacity. And I encourage you, my friends, wherever you go, in whatever that you do, always be a blessing to others. Thank you.